Hey guys, HDvee here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, in today's video, we're going to be going over a brand new interview from Junichi Masuda with Famitsu, basically going over a bunch of different things for Sword and Shield. Now, of course, a lot of controversy about the new games at the moment with the whole no national dex thing, no mega evolutions, no Z moves, and I will make a video tomorrow going a little bit more in depth into all those areas and just kind of give my thoughts and feelings about it, because it is quite a huge topic, especially for the new games. We'd expect all the Pokemon to be there, and because they're not, it does create a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of problems. So like I said, I'll be going over that tomorrow. But today I do want to go over this new interview that goes over some more things about the games and see where Junichi Masuda is coming from with a few of the decisions made for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So if you're excited for the video, be sure to drop a like down below. It really does help out. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts and feelings on the whole controversy at the moment with the whole national dex and what you think about this interview. And of course, subscribe as well if you're brand new. We do daily Pokemon content on this channel. With all of that out of the way though, guys, let's get into the video, and I really hope you guys enjoy. Starting things off, this is an interview with Junichi Masuda from Famitsu. Now, it is translated from Japanese, so a lot of the English will be a little bit out of place and stuff because Google Translate isn't amazing. But if you do want to see the interview yourself, it will be linked in the description down below. Basically, it's titled, Junichi Masuda and Hitoshi Omori hit what I want to ask now of Pokemon Sword and Shield. We also mentioned the story of the Pokemon you can bring, E3 2019. So like I say, you know, the direct was going all well and smooth, and you know, we were seeing the nice gameplay for the games, and then of course they're all sitting down on the sofa, and then next minute disaster strikes because he's like, oh yeah, you can't bring the Pokemon into Sword and Shield if they're not in the national deck. So everyone was like, what? And then there was a whole, it was a mistranslation error or what, and then apparently it wasn't. So yeah, if the Pokemon does not appear in the Galar decks, you can't bring it over to Sword and Shield. So we're kind of just waiting now for what Pokemon can come over, because half of them have been Thanos snapped, you know, like, and we just don't know. We want a little bit of a open light on the situation. But anyway, it says, Nintendo Switch software Pokemon Sword and Shield exhibited at E3 2019 in Los Angeles, USA. We interviewed the Game Freak Junichi Masuda and Satoshi Omori about the film. So E3 2013 being held in Los Angeles, yeah, he's just talking about working on it and stuff. And that was basically a demo, and the demo was really cool. We got access to 2 brand new Pokemon, being Yamper and Impidimp. A brand new typing for Impidimp, of course, being very dark. But yeah, he says, by the way, it is the latest word Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Pokemon series with worldwide popularity. But Mr. Masuda said Pokemon Home with the WB program Nintendo Treehouse, distributed by Nintendo during the E3 2019 session. Yeah, so basically they just interviewed them about everything that was spoken by E3 and stuff. So this, straight off the bat, is the biggest part of this interview that I did want to go over, and I did see it, and I was like, okay, this definitely raises a few questions. So it says, at Nintendo Treehouse the other day, Mr. Masuda mentioned Pokemon Home and Pokemon Sword and Shield, about the Pokemon can go back and forth. As a development side, I think that is a very big decision, but please give us some remarks on the process and feelings you can choose to narrow down the Pokemon brought to the Pokemon Sword and Shield. So Masuda says, hard move to the Nintendo Switch, and it became possible to draw Pokemon with more beautiful graphics and liveliness just because of the Switch capabilities. I was able to kind of transport all the 3D models and just make them look a lot nicer. But then it says, but on the other hand, it took more time to develop them before, probably just because of the graphics and stuff. He then goes on to say, on the other hand, the total number of Pokemon has exceeded 1,000, including new Pokemon and the form change of existing Pokemon. So I don't know what that means, because form change is quite a big, kind of a big, I don't know, idea. Because if we're talking about all of the form changes of Pokemon, there's over 4 million. Because I think there's about 4 to like 8 million different Spinder patterns, and they're all technically different forms of Spinder. So I don't know if they're talking about that. I don't think so. I think they're more talking about Pokemon like Landorus, who obviously has the 2 different forms, and maybe the Vivillon patterns as well with all those different forms. I think they're talking about forms where they actually have to manually change the Pokemon, and it's just not a computer generated thing. Because right here I do have like all of the different forms of Pokemon. Like we have all of these different Pikachu forms, there's the 2 different Pichu forms, there's all the different unknown forms. So I don't know if altogether they're counting all of these different Pokemon, because there's like 28 different unknown forms right there as technically new Pokemon. So we obviously have about like low 800s right now, including all mega evolutions and stuff like that. And he's saying that it goes over 1,000, it exceeds 1,000. So that's like 180 odd Pokemon with form changes and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if in Pokemon Sword and Shield we're getting about 100 Pokemon, like 80 to 100 brand new Pokemon. There's going to be some form changes in Pokemon Sword and Shield. We know about Farfetch's form change. He evolves, he gets like a regional form known as Surfetch, because that was in the leak, and pretty much everything for that leak is correct now. But yeah, we have Cass form change, so that's another 4 forms right there. We have Deoxys forms, the 4 right there. We have Wormadam forms. I pray that Wormadam is not in Sword and Shield, by the way, because I absolutely hate it. So we have the Wormadam forms, we have the Burmy forms. So if you're just counting all of these, like the Shellos and Gastrodon, the Cherim forms, the Rotom forms, the Giratina forms, the Shaman forms, the Arceus forms, you know, there's a lot of different Arceus forms. Basculin, Damanitan, Deerling, Forces of Nature, like we just went over, Kyurem, we got Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect. There's so many different forms of Pokemon. He says it exceeds over 1,000. So now that I'm actually looking at all this, maybe there isn't actually that as many Pokemon in Sword and Shield as I expected. I mean, 1,000 Pokemon is a lot, and he says it exceeds over 1,000. He doesn't say, oh, it comes up to 1,000. He says it exceeds 1,000, so that's more than 1,000 Pokemon. So we don't actually know the total number with obviously all the different form changes and stuff, but it's definitely interesting that he said that. And then he said, as a result, it has become extremely difficult to make Pokemon with a new personality play an active part and to balance the compatibility, in addition to making the graphic quality adapted to changes in the hardware. Also, in terms of battle, that is the reason for this decision, and we have decided that it is difficult to make all Pokemon appear in future works. So he's also said that it's difficult to make them all appear in future works. So does that mean that we're never going to get another National Dex? Because it's that difficult to get all the different Pokemon looking as good as they can in the Sword, like in the Switch graphics? Because I guess once they've done all the Sword and Shield graphics, because I'm guessing the Pokedex must be at least about 700 Pokemon big. I mean, if it exceeds over 1,000 and they have to knock out like a bunch of Pokemon, I'm guessing it's got to be 700 at least, man, at least, because that's 300 odd Pokemon that we just can't ever use in Sword and Shield. So I mean, they would have already got all the works and stuff and the models done in Sword and Shield. So if they do, like, I don't know, Generation 4 remakes next, they've already got all the models for Sword and Shield, so they wouldn't have to do all those again. So I'm not sure. It then says, certainly considering the graphic quality of Pokemon Sword and Shield, it seems that it will take a considerable amount of time to build them for all Pokemon. This decision is personally sad and sad. Of course, I wanted to be able to bring all Pokemon if I could do it, but it was also a decision that I had to make someday. In the end, I had no choice but to choose the quality. This time, along with Masuda, we had considerable discussions. Even in the time of Pokemon Sun and Moon, it was quite a different situation to be able to bring all Pokemon. The hardware became a Nintendo Switch, and the model would be rebuilt from scratch. If you have to make a choice of something, however, I think that I understand that you can play Pokemon Sword and Shield, that there is a limit to Pokemon being taken. The contents of the play, such as wild areas and stories, are quite voluminous. To be fair, Pokemon Home isn't supposed to come out until early 2020, so at the end of the day, and like I said, I will touch on this in the video that I'm making tomorrow about this whole situation, but at the end of the day, like, my thoughts about it is that it is not going to affect your first playthrough of Sword and Shield, because you wouldn't be able to use Pokemon from Pokemon Home anyway, because Sword and Shield's coming out on November the 15th, and Pokemon Home isn't coming out until early 2020. So yeah, your first playthrough, you wouldn't be able to do anything with Pokemon Home anyway. But I completely understand it from the Pokemon competitive aspect of things. Like, after you complete the game, you want to have all the Pokemon to be able to play with and stuff like that. So yeah, I completely understand from that. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to make my video about it tomorrow, but we're going to keep reading this interview now. So how much volume does the Pokemon registered in the Galar pictorial book become? Cannot be said at this stage, but all evolved forms of Pokemon that appear in the PV that has been released, for example, I mean, that's Charizard, it's just in Japanese, was behind the champion Dande. When it comes to the feeling that a lizard also appears, of course, even among Pokemons that have not appeared in PV as of June 12, 2019, there are Pokemon that appear in Galar Illustrated Book. Is Pokemon that does not appear in the Galar Illustrated Book be added in the subsequent updates? Future updates, etc. are undecided. However, even if it cannot be made to appear in Pokemon Sword and Shield, we intend to play an active role in the future title through Pokemon Home. I will never do anything wrong. So what they're saying is they're undecided if they're actually going to bring out any updates in the future for Pokemon Sword and Shield to bring out the remaining Pokemon to these games so we can use them for competitive and stuff like that. I would also like to ask about the prospects for the future. For example, does Pokemon that made a graphic with Pokemon Sword and Shield come out with the next title using that data? It is under consideration now, including it. However, when it comes to new specifications like all Pokemon, such as Mega, I don't know what they are, there will be another graphic production and battle coordination for that, which is a tough place. So that means that the graphics of Pokemon that has reached the level of the current hard, rather than going to increase from time to time in accordance with the series expansion of the last Pokemon that suits its title to be brought from the Pokemon Home is not it. Okay, I didn't understand that question at all because Google Translate's awful. It says, that's right, I hope you bring your Pokemon to Pokemon Home and it will be like going out to various titles from there. So Pokemon's feeling is, this region is cold, so you're away from home. Also, for Pokemon Home, I also want to prepare some kind of play. So they're definitely going to be doing some sort of update with Pokemon Home to allow you to use those Pokemon in some way. Maybe you can just battle using Pokemon for Pokemon Home. I don't know. I see the Pokemon Home is at the center and it will change to a stance of going out to each title. This Pokemon Sword and Shield was such a new reform, but what should be considered as what works when compared to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee released on the same hard Nintendo Switch. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is based on Pokemon Pikachu, while Pokemon Sword and Shield will be a new stage. So how to make a fundamental game, the nature of the play is different. However, I use the what to develop to the library and the players bought. I'm trying to make all Amori people happy to play. It is also important that your children play and understand. Of course, I think it will be enjoyed by those who wish to develop deeper Pokemon and play battles. It corresponds to various ways to play. So the interview just goes on about like other things about E3 and stuff. But obviously the main point of this video is that there's now 1,000 Pokemon. So what does that mean for the Pokedex? Like, I don't know. I feel like there will be 100 brand new Pokemon with form changes and stuff like that. I really hope they haven't brought in Pokemon like Pavilion, where they've had to make a model for like every single form, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18 forms here for Pavilion. If they've chosen to bring in a Pokemon like Pavilion, where they've had to make 18 different models, as opposed to bringing 18 different new Pokemon in, like, I don't know, Bishop line, the Nidoking line, and stuff like that, like 5 Pokemon right there. If they've chosen to go with form changes over that, then I will be really annoyed, because they could easily have brought in a lot more Pokemon instead of the form changes. Like Unknown, for example. They don't need Unknown in the game. It's an awful Pokemon. No one's going to use it. It's trash. If they've taken the time to make 28 new models for Unknown, I will not be happy, and I don't think the Pokemon community will be happy at all. You don't need the Pokemon with loads of form changes. Like, save that for a later thing. Bring in the Pokemon that don't have the form changes. Of course, bring in Pokemon like Landorus and stuff, because, you know, that's not too many form changes. Like, if they've only got like 2 form changes, that's fine. But if they've got like, then you look at Arceus, you see all those. But then again, I don't think you'd really have to do too much work on these models. It's literally just changing color, so I think that's not too bad. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on it? What are you guys' thoughts on this whole thing? This is a discussion video for you guys. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So please do leave a comment down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe as well if you're brand new. That's everything from me, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. And until next time, peace.